I cannot stop thinking of you. From the mornings you ease, to the evenings you quiet, to the dreams you inhabit.
Welcome to MsMojo. And today, we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most romantic Bridgerton lines.
You do know there'll never be a day where you do not vex me.
Is that a promise, Kanthony?
For this list, we'll be looking at those moments in Bridgerton that melted our hearts, weakened our knees, and had us swooning in our sofa cushions from the first 2 seasons. Which line had your heart fluttering as fast as your fan? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. One should declare it. While the connection between Penelope Featherington and Colin Bridgerton is obvious to the audience, Colin himself is completely oblivious. He does care for Penelope, though. We see several examples of that.
I'm afraid I cannot offer you that dance, Miss Cowper. I am to escort Miss Featherington to the floor.
By season's end, it is Penelope's turn to comfort Colin, fresh off an embarrassing failed romance with her cousin Marina. Though this was the source of considerable friction between them, there are no hard feelings on either side.
And I was a fool.
You are not a fool. You merely believed yourself in love. One should never apologize for that.
This isn't just another case of Penelope being supportive, but a real moment of kinship between the pair. Penelope makes clear that she shares Colin's idealism when it comes to love, and hints at her own innermost feelings.
One finds oneself in such an incredible position and, well, one should declare it. Assuredly, fervently, loudly.
Hopefully this moment will ultimately serve as her first step out of Colin's friend zone. Number 9. You deserve everything. Simon's refusal to consider a future with Daphne frustrates and confuses her, especially as it becomes increasingly clear that neither one can resist the attraction between them. When their indiscretion is witnessed by Cressida Cowper, though, Daphne pleads for Simon to do the only honorable thing and marry her.
Daphne, I cannot.
Did you not hear me? Someone knows what we have done. Someone who will surely talk. What possible reason could you have to condemn me to shame?
His continued resistance stings, and she assumes he must truly dislike her to abandon her to social ruin. It's then that Simon finally reveals at least part of the truth.
I can never give you children. It is your dream to be a mother, is it not? To have a household full of love and laughter like the one you have known all your life.
Yes, this is by choice, but the fact that he would rather make himself miserable than risk her unhappiness is moving. We see how deeply Simon must love Daphne to go to such lengths to ensure the future she has always dreamed of.
You deserve everything your heart desires, but I cannot provide it for you. Nor could I ever ask such a sacrifice.
Number 8. Just keep looking at me. When Edwina Sharma leaves Anthony Bridgerton at the altar, it sends society into a scandalized frenzy, and their families into damage control mode. No one else knows that the mutual feelings between Anthony and Edwina's sister Kate are the reason for the cancelled nuptials, and that's how it must remain.
We should continue to keep our distance between us in light of them.
Perhaps we should not.
The pair have spent the entire season fighting their attraction to each other. Now, with Kate still planning to return to India, they throw caution to the wind.
Are you going to ask me to dance? One last time.
Are you going to say yes?
As they take the floor, the other guests instantly notice. Under so much scrutiny, Kate's confidence begins to waver.
Do you want to stop?
Just keep looking at me. No one else matters.
With this risky choice, Kate and Anthony become each other's strength. Watching them get lost in the moment and each other, it's impossible not to feel swept away with them.
I think they look beautiful together.
Beautiful indeed.
Number 7. We chose to love each other. Though Edmund Bridgerton tragically passed away long before the events of the show's first season, his presence is still felt. It's clear that the Bridgerton children, and especially Daphne, idolize their parents' relationship.
The two of you loved each other so very much. It is a rarity, I've come to realize.
This moment comes as Daphne is worried that her own marriage is about to crumble. Violet is there to remind her that struggles come to every couple, and even true love is something that takes constant work.
We chose to love each other every single day. It is a choice, dearest. One that is never too late to make.
In a show like Bridgerton, it's easy to get caught up in the idea of fairy tale happily ever afters. Violet's words are an important reminder of what it takes to have a relationship over the long term, and the fact that all the sweetest things in life are worth the effort it takes to maintain them.
But knowing that the two of us made the choice to love and to do all that we could, well, I cannot tell you how much peace and comfort that brings to me.
Number 6. All I find myself being able to breathe for is you. In Season 2, we learn that Antony's preference for a loveless marriage is as a direct result of seeing his mother suffer after his father's death.
Edmund was the air that I breathed. Now there is no air.
He didn't count on Kate Sharma, though. Despite an antagonistic start and their mutual efforts to fight their growing attraction, Antony eventually finds his willpower failing him.
And yet still, all I find myself thinking about, all I find myself being able to breathe for, is you.
It quickly becomes apparent that Kate and Antony are becoming each other's oxygen. Desperately needed, impossible to resist. We watch what remains of their self-control evaporate as their feelings start to overwhelm them.
I will stop.
Do not stop.
I will stop.
Do not stop.
They might stop, but no one is holding their breath on that. Number 5. You must feel it because I do. Kate and Antony's earlier dance could be considered a declaration of love, but Antony knows he has to remove all doubt. Faced with losing Kate forever, he lays all his cards on the table.
I love you. I have loved you from the moment we raced each other in that park. I've loved you at every dance, on every walk, every time we've been together, and every time we've been apart.
The journey to this moment has been a roller coaster, that's for certain. But for Antony's part, Kate's near-death experience helped him overcome all his internal conflict and find absolute emotional clarity.
In your heart, you must feel it because I do. I love you.
Luckily, Kate is on the same page and instantly reciprocates with her own declaration of love. It's almost as if Antony doesn't believe his good luck. He comes in immediately with a proposal that's sweet, earnest, and completely stripped of all his defense mechanisms.
I know I am imperfect, but I will humble myself before you because I cannot imagine my life without you, and that is why I wish to marry you.
Who wouldn't see fireworks after a moment like this? Number 4. I burn for you. Things get off to an awkward start on Daphne and Simon's wedding night. Both feel as though they've forced the other to do something they didn't want, and try to cope by avoiding each other at first.
You wanted a life with children, a family. You wanted a life with a man you truly knew. You wanted a love match, and yet...
And yet, this cannot be any more different.
Daphne takes Simon's concerns as his way of telling her that what he feels for her is not romantic love, but she has misunderstood him. He assures her that nothing could be further from the truth.
My thoughts of you never end. I am yours, Daphne. I have always been yours.
Of course, this still doesn't explain his distant behavior. But when pressed, Simon's true feelings burst out.
Yes, that is what happens.
When one is angry.
When one burns for someone who does not feel the same.
This candor takes Daphne by surprise, but also opens the door for her to be fully vulnerable with Simon. She openly confesses what should have been obvious to him all along.
It is you I cannot sacrifice. I burn for you.
Someone get us a fan. Number 3. You are the bane of my existence and the object of all my desires. When a dramatic family dinner throws Edwina's wedding into question, Kate goes to Anthony to plead for her sister.
So tell me, what has she done?
She has done nothing, it is you. You have made this match impossible.
But I am leaving for India.
And it is not far enough.
Anthony could blame Edwina's lack of dowry for his decision to end their engagement. However, face to face with Kate, he cannot hold back the true reason.
Do you think that there is a corner of this earth that you could travel to far away enough to free me from this torment?
Time after time, this pair have found themselves tempted by their magnetic draw. And time again, they have reasoned themselves apart. Anthony, at least, has finally realized that it's a losing game. A life which inevitably includes Kate, but in which they cannot be together, is a torment neither of them can withstand.
You are the bane of my existence. And the object of all my desires.
The solution seems clear to us, but Anthony and Kate aren't quite ready just yet. And so, we suffer right along with them.
And you agree? It is insupportable.
Impossible.
Number 2. To meet a beautiful woman is one thing. Simon and Daphne need to make it to the altar in a hurry, and Queen Charlotte is the only person who can help them. Unfortunately, the monarch is not exactly a fan of the coupling, and is in need of a lot of convincing.
You see, Your Majesty, it was love at first sight.
It was not, Your Majesty. The young lady flatters me. It was not love at first sight, for either of us.
Though Simon's interruption has everyone in the room on edge, there's no need to be concerned. He goes on to describe a relationship far more compelling and solid than the surface appeal of love at first sight.
We have fooled them into thinking we are courting. And really, all along, we simply enjoyed each other's company so much we could not stay away from one another.
As we hear Simon make his case, he shows the Queen, and Daphne too, that this isn't a match of status or even necessity, but mutual care and respect. Their relationship is based on something real, and only the most heartless would try to deny it.
To meet a beautiful woman is one thing, but to meet your best friend and the most beautiful of women is something entirely apart.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Anything that gets me your attention. Benedict's flirtatious charm is hard to resist.
I see my reputation precedes me.
Not exactly a bunch.
Well, anything that gets me your attention is a good thing, I'd rather think.
My heart pays no heed to mere logic. Even after being duped, Colin's sweet idealism isn't dimmed.
I know you must think me a fool, but my heart pays no heed to mere logic. When I think of her, I only want to be near her, to be with her, despite all reason otherwise.
Tell me you feel nothing. This steamy scene has Kate conflicted, but the audience fully on board.
Say you do not care for me. Tell me you feel nothing, and I will walk away.
I set them aside for you. Two people falling for each other's minds, that will never not make us swoon.
I set them aside for you. Thought perhaps you might share your thoughts on them.
The best possible foundation. Queen Charlotte reminds us that the greatest romances have the deepest roots.
You are wise. Or perhaps unusually lucky to understand friendship to be the best possible foundation a marriage can have.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Every scar, every flaw, every imperfection. For many ladies, an unexpected rain shower might ruin their evening. For Daphne, it's an opportunity to open a very important dialogue.
I know that this is not what you had envisioned for the evening.
Certainly not.
For that,
It is better.
Having discovered the truth of Simon's relationship with his father, Daphne is finally able to understand the fear of rejection that had been motivating him. And in trying to tell Simon the truth he needs to hear, she goes straight to the heart of the matter.
Just because something is not perfect does not make it any less worthy of love.
Daphne's words are simple, direct, and sincere. They build on Simon's own earlier sentiments about the foundation of their relationship, expressing feelings that go so much deeper than any attraction.
I love all of you. Even the parts that you believe are too dark and too shameful. Every scar, every flaw, every imperfection. I love you.
This all-embracing devotion within a passionate romance is the kind of thing we all dream of, and one of the reasons why Bridgerton has captured our hearts. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.